Look at this sleep tracker. Arthur, 60 years old, waking up 4 times every single night, just to use the bathroom. Exhausted mornings, dragging through every single day. Now, look at this. Same man. 11 days later. One void, the whole night. What changed? 3 minutes before bed, and one small adjustment in the late afternoon. That's it. No medication, no cutting off water at 6 p.m., no adult diapers, just a handful of targeted techniques that work directly with your body's biology to keep you dry and sleeping straight through the night. Let me ask you something. If you woke up tomorrow feeling like you actually slept, real, deep, uninterrupted sleep, how different would your day look? More energy, sharper thinking, no brain fog by noon. For millions of people over 50, that kind of sleep has become a distant memory. Stolen. One bathroom trip at a time. Here's what this video is not going to do. Tell you to stop drinking fluids after 8 p.m. You already know that. You've already tried it. And your bladder still woke you up at 2 a.m. like clockwork. Why? Because fluid restriction is not the problem. And it is not the solution. The real problem is inside your body. Your hormones, your blood vessels, your nervous system, your pelvic floor, and nobody is giving you something you can actually do about it tonight. So here's what we're doing instead. 5 specific mechanisms that cause nighttime urination. For each one, a direct, research-backed fix you can apply in 3 minutes or less. Not wellness trends, simplified clinical protocols. The exact same principles used in real urology practices. Things you can do at home, starting tonight. If you're over 60 or 70 and your bladder is holding your sleep hostage, this is for you. If you've tried fluid restriction and it hasn't worked, this is for you. If someone told you waking up 2 or 3 times a night is just normal aging, this is especially for you. It's not normal. It's not inevitable. And tonight can be different. Stay with me through the whole video, the technique most people skip, and the one that makes the absolute biggest difference is coming at the very end. Here's the promise. By the time this video ends, you'll have a complete step-by-step protocol. 5 targeted interventions, each 3 minutes or less. That address the actual root causes of why your bladder is waking you up at night. Here's what most people get wrong. They blame the bladder. Your bladder is not the problem. Your bladder is just the messenger. The real story is happening upstream, in your circulation, your hormones, your nervous system, and a muscle group that has been quietly misfiring for years without you ever knowing it. This protocol targets all 5 of those drivers, not 1, not 2, all 5. That's why people who've tried everything else, fluid restriction, pumpkin seed supplements, the 10 p.m. bathroom trip, finally see real results when they apply this. So, who am I? And why should you listen? I'm not selling anything. No supplement. No gadget. No paid program. What I've done is gone deep into the clinical research on Nocturia, the medical term for nighttime urination, and translated findings from peer-reviewed urology literature, Sleep Foundation research, and established clinical guidelines into something a real person can actually use tonight. One important note before we start. If you're currently being treated for kidney disease, heart failure, or diabetes, please work closely with your doctor before changing your routine. Same if you're on a diuretic medication. If you've been diagnosed with deep vein thrombosis or a pelvic floor disorder, one technique will need a slight modification, and I'll tell you exactly when we get there. For everyone else who is otherwise healthy and simply exhausted from broken sleep, you're in exactly the right place. One quick thing, if this is useful, hit like right now. It tells the platform this information is worth sharing, which means one more person lying awake at 3 a.m. finally gets answers. Subscribe for more, and drop a comment below. How many times are you currently waking up per night? I read every single one. Now, let's fix this. All right, here's everything you need for this protocol. A wall or couch to prop your legs against, a chair, nutritional yeast, which you can find at any health food store in the bulk or supplement aisle, and your own bathroom. That's it. No machines, no prescriptions, no gadgets. If you have those 4 things, you're ready to start tonight. 5 hacks, 5 root causes. Each one takes 3 minutes or less. The sequence matters. Each builds on the last. Let's go. Hack 1, the insulin hack. Starting tonight, cut all sugar and starchy snacks after 6 p.m. No fruit, no crackers, no just a small piece of anything sweet. Here's why. When blood sugar spikes in the evening, your body releases insulin to manage it. That insulin surge directly sensitizes your bladder lining, making it fire urgency signals when it's barely a quarter full. Clinical research confirms metabolic control is one of the most under-discussed drivers of nocturnal frequency. Cut the evening sugar, and you silence the false alarm. Need something to eat? A small handful of nuts, or a boiled egg. That's it. Hack 2, the gravity hack. Between 4 and 6 p.m., not later, and not earlier, elevate your legs above your heart for 20 minutes. Legs up the wall, feet on the couch arm, whatever works. Here's the science. Fluid pools in your legs all day long due to gravity. The moment you lie flat at night, that fluid floods right back into your bloodstream. Your kidneys detect this volume surge and rapidly produce urine, sometimes a full bladder's worth, right in the middle of your sleep cycle. A published study in sleep medicine confirmed leg fluid displacement is a primary driver of nocturnal polyuria. The fix: drain the legs before dinner so your kidneys process that fluid while you're still awake. Hack 3, the relaxation hack. Right before you get into bed, and this is the one almost nobody talks about, perform a reverse Kegel. Instead of squeezing and lifting the pelvic floor like a traditional Kegel, you're going to consciously let go. Breathe in deeply as you exhale, gently push downward and outward, releasing all tension from your pelvic floor. Hold that release for 5 seconds. Repeat 3 times. Research into pelvic floor dysfunction shows a chronically tightened pelvic floor sends constant, false urgency signals to the brain, making you feel desperate to urinate, even when your bladder volume doesn't justify it. The reverse Kegel silences that noise before it can wake you up. I know what some of you are thinking. You've tried drinking less water. You've tried going to the bathroom right before bed, and you still wake up twice, minimum, and you're right to be skeptical because those 2 things only address the symptom. They don't touch the mechanism. What we're doing here is completely different. We're working upstream of the bladder entirely, changing what your body does with fluid before it ever reaches the bladder wall. That's why this feels different from everything else you've tried. Hack 4, the emptying hack. This is called double voiding, and it takes less than 2 minutes. When you go to the bathroom as part of your bedtime routine, void normally. Then, wait 60 full seconds. Don't rush. Don't stand up. Just wait. Then void again. That second void clears residual urine that pools at the base of the bladder due to incomplete emptying. Clinical guidance from urology institutions confirms residual urine significantly reduces your functional bladder capacity, meaning your bladder hits its trigger point faster and wakes you up sooner. Double voiding reclaims that lost capacity. Simplest habit in this entire protocol. Results from the very first night. Hack 5. The apnea hack. This is the one almost everyone misses, and it's the reason some people do everything right and still can't get through the night. If you snore heavily, if you've been told you stop breathing in your sleep, or if you wake up exhausted no matter how many hours you spend in bed, listen closely. Every time your airway collapses during sleep apnea, your heart comes under immense pressure. In response, it releases a hormone called atrial natriuretic peptide, ANP, which signals your kidneys to produce more urine. Immediately. Research confirms sleep. Apnea is one of the most commonly missed causes of nocturnal polyuria. CPAP therapy has been shown to dramatically reduce nighttime urination in apnea patients. If this sounds like you, talk to your doctor about a sleep study. It could be the single most important conversation you have about your sleep. One last thing before you move on. After completing the protocol, lie flat on your back, take 3 slow breaths, let your body settle. 60 seconds. Your nervous system needs that signal to register that the work is done and that it's safe to stay asleep. No, don't skip this. Before you close this video, there is one thing you absolutely need to know. When you do the gravity hack for the first time, you may notice you're urinating more than usual in the evening, maybe 2 or 3 times between dinner and bed. Don't stop. That is the protocol working. Your body is processing the fluid that's been sitting in your legs all day while you're still awake, so it doesn't ambush you at 2 a.m. The evening urgency is temporary. It normalizes within 3 to 4 days. Push through it. Here's how to fit this into your actual day. The insulin hack starts at 6 p.m. No sugar, no starch from that point forward. The gravity hack runs from 4 to 6 p.m., 20 minutes, legs elevated, done before dinner. The emptying hack is the very last thing in your bathroom routine before bed. The relaxation hack. Those 3 reverse kegels happens the exact moment you get into bed. Lights off, right before your eyes close. The apnea hack isn't a nightly ritual, it's an appointment you make with your doctor, if the description fits you. On dosage, start with what you can, 10 minutes of leg elevation if 20 feels like too much. Practice the reverse kegel sitting in a chair first, if it feels unfamiliar. Your body needs 2 to 3 days to adjust to each new input. Consistency over the first week matters far more than perfection on night 1. Now, the bonus multiplier. 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast per day. Stir it into food. Mix it into a drink. Whatever works for you. It delivers a highly concentrated dose of B vitamins, particularly B1 and B6, which directly stabilize autonomic nerve function. The autonomic nervous system governs involuntary bladder contractions. When it's nutritionally undersupported, the bladder becomes hyperreactive, firing urgency signals unpredictably and at low volumes. B vitamin support quiets that reactivity at the neurological level. Add it to your morning routine and let it work in the background, while the rest of the protocol does the heavy lifting at night. Here's what the results timeline honestly looks like. Days 3 to 4, nighttime urgency begins to soften. End of week 1, most people drop from 3 or 4 nightly voids down to 1 or 2. Days 11 to 14, many reach the clinical definition of success, a 50% reduction in nightly voids, or a consistent pattern of one void or fewer per night. That is real sleep. That is what this protocol is built to deliver. I want to be completely honest with you before we finish. This is not magic. There's no secret ancient remedy, no suppressed cure. What this protocol is applied physiology. Every hack works because it addresses a documented biological mechanism. The gravity hack works because fluid redistribution is governed by fixed laws of circulation. The insulin hack works because the relationship between blood sugar, insulin, and bladder sensitivity is measurable and reproducible. The relaxation hack works because pelvic floor neuromuscular dysfunction is real, diagnosable, and treatable. The emptying hack works because residual urine volume is a quantifiable problem with a quantifiable solution. The apnea hack works because ANP is a real hormone, with a real, documented effect on nocturnal urine production. You are not broken, your bladder is not defective. Several biological systems have drifted slightly out of alignment, quietly, gradually, over years, and nobody handed you the tools to bring them back. That's what today was. The instruction manual you were never given. The research is real, the sources are in the description, and the results are available to anyone willing to apply this consistently for 2 weeks. Knowing without doing is just information. Information doesn't heal anything. Doing does. Now my question for you. Which of these 5 hacks surprised you most? The gravity hack. That fluid pooling in your legs during the day is what fills your bladder at night. The apnea connection, that a hormone released by your heart could be behind your bathroom trips, or the reverse Kegel, that a muscle you didn't even know was tense, has been sending false alarms to your brain for years? Tell me in the comments. And if you've already tried one of these, tell me that too. Your experience helps every other person reading those comments at midnight, exhausted and looking for answers. Feel less alone. That matters more than you think. One more thing. If someone you know is losing sleep to this, a parent, a partner, a friend, send them this video. Just quietly drop it in a message. No explanation needed. The people who need this most are often the least likely to go looking for it themselves. I wish you a full, quiet, uninterrupted night of sleep. The kind where you close your eyes, and the next thing you see is morning. That's what you deserve. Go do the work. See you in the next video. And if you're looking for more ways to stay independent, you'll want to watch my next video right here on essential daily mobility exercises, which will help strengthen those legs we just talked about. Take care of yourself, sleep well tonight, and I'll see you in the next video. I love you all. Live strong, age smart, thrive after 60,